Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to The Doctors Are In here on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. This is the show where we discuss and take our questions on tarot, numerology, Vedic mantras and practices, as well as anything and everything psychic, spiritual, hypnosis, meditation, energy healing, psychic development, and so much more. We also take your calls for free mini readings and guidance live on the air. So you want to dial the number 714-816-4628 and press the number 1 to get in the queue. Let me give you that number once again. It's 714-816-4628, and be sure to press the number 1 so that we know that you want to ask us a question or just talk to us. I am your host, Dr. Rose, and I love talking about all things psychic. I am an intuitive certified life coach, and I have a passion for mythology. I just love to befriend, invoke, communicate with, and work with divine beings from different traditions. But most importantly, I love to take my psychic knowledge and skills to help others just like you to have a true transformation in your life. So welcome to the show, and joining me, as always, is my fabulous co-host, the founder and executive producer of Psychic Talk Radio, Dr. Dax. Now, Dr. Dax, just to give you a little information about him, is also the founder and president of the Tarot Guild, now in their 16th year. He's been a radio personality for 10 years now, as well as a certified tarot master, numerologist, life coach, and professional hypnotist. And here he is, Dr. Dax. How you doing, Dax? Great to be back on the air with you.
Oh, yes, it's another great Friday. How are you, Dr. Rose?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. And we love our Friday and Saturday shows, the Friday show and the Saturday show, which is Tarot Today Radio with Mary Brown and I tomorrow. Well, actually, tomorrow is something else, which we'll be telling you a little bit later on. It's Mary's one show a month she does on her own, and it's the premiere of her new version. So we'll be talking about that in a second here. But our Friday and Saturday shows are sponsored by the Tarot Guild. You can go over to thetarotguild.com. And it's free to join the website if you're into tarot and numerology. And like Dr. Rose said, we're in our 16th year. We do certification and training and provide community and resources to tarot lovers worldwide and have been doing so since 2004. God, where does the time go, Rose?
I don't know. I wish I knew.
Just blasting by. We got a great topic for you today. Of course, as always, we do our mantra of the week and tarot card and numerology of the week and or of the day, and we'll get to that in just a minute here. We're a live call-in show, though, and we have open lines all show long on Fridays and Saturdays. So you can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. You can also call in and ask questions like Dr. Rose was saying in the beginning there on anything psychic development, tarot, numerology, mantras, Vedic meditation, hypnosis, life coaching, EFT. I mean, you name it, we pretty much have it covered. And you can also call in for a mini tarot reading live on air. That's right. The phone number is 714-816-4628. Give us a ring. Remember to press 1 on your dial pad as soon as you get through. That way we know you want to be live on air. So if you're just listening to the show, just dial in. Don't press 1. If you want to be live on the air with us, call in at 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. All righty. We are also in the chat room. In fact, Sharon is in there. And Dr. Rose, it's thetarotguild.com/ chat, or if you're already on our website, thetarotguild.com, any page on the website, in the nav bar at the top on the far right, you'll see the chat link. Join us in the chat room there. You can ask questions, make comments during the show, and even ask for a mini reading right in the chat room, because I know, some of you might be listening at work or what have you. You can't talk wherever you are at the moment, but you can text us, so you can type it into the chat room.
That's right.
All righty, so we are live on air here, and Dr. Rose, do you have a mantra of the week for us?
I do. Actually, I have two.
Oh,
so,
cool.
This just kind of popped in, of course, right before the show. I was like, okay, what's the mantra of the week? And I know that, what I've told people, and I still do this, is that I'm a manager of several community Facebook groups for the company that I work for. That focuses on, Vedic practices and what have you. And the interesting thing is that we always get questions about protection, where people are in a bad situation, whether it is a personal relationship or it's a work relationship, that people need to have protection out there. And so I have two mantras, one that's general protection and one that's like heavy duty, So I'll talk to you about both of them. Now, this is not just a one-word mantra. These mantras are a little bit longer, so, grab your pens and pencils and what have you. If you're in the chat room, I'll be sure to post them along with an audio that you can download for at least one of them. So the first one is is general protection mantra, and it is the mantra is Om Doom Durgaye Namaha. Om Doom Durgaye Namaha. And that's a 4-word mantra there. And it calls on the goddess Durga, who's a protectress. Some of you might have seen her in some of the Hindu pictures where you see a goddess sitting on a tiger, and she has 8 arms and weapons in each arm. Maybe there's a flower in one of her hands or whatnot, but she has about 8 weapons or so. And that is Durga. And it's an interesting story. So, I get these mantras. Some of the mantras I get from the author Thomas Ashley Farrand, who was one of the first. He was an American Vedic priest and one of the first who actually wrote about Sanskrit mantras for an American audience or Western audience to understand, what it is, what they are, and whatnot. And he has a few books out there that have mantras in there, so I highly recommend them. This particular book that I'm looking at is called Healing Mantras. It's called Shakti Mantras. Shakti is the great goddess. So Shakti Mantras, tapping into the great goddess energy within. I'll try to post a link after I talk about this in the chat room so that you guys can take a look at it. But anyway, Om Doom Durgaye Namaha is a protection mantra, and here's what it means. It means salutations, or like greetings, right, to she who was beautiful, to the seeker of truth, and terrible in appearance to those who would injure devotees of truth. So she's also a great mother as well. She's very much a protectress. So, Durga kind of sees her devotees. You don't even have to be a devotee, but a person who uses the mantra as like one of her children. And so she will come down and she will protect you. Another mantra it's a heavy duty mantra, and it's commonly used in particularly dreadful circumstances. And it can also give you blessings of creativity as well as good fortune. And as the author, Thomas Ashley Farrand, says, he has also given this to women who, to help them increase their self-confidence, and it's been very successful. So, he says that he would give this mantra for people who are suffering from eating disorders or other maladies that may stem from a deep-seated insecurity or feelings of lack of self-worth. So that's the heavy-duty mantra. So the mantra is, like I said, get out your pens and pencils. Om, I'm, Hrim, that's H-R-I-M, Kleem, Shamundaye, Viche, Namaha. That's a little bit longer, so I'll repeat it again. Om, I'm, Hrim, Kleem, Chamundaye, Viche Namaha. One last time. Om Aim Reem Kleem Chamundaye Viche Namaha. And I've actually had a personal experience with this once. One morning I was lying in bed and just kind of waking up, and I just had this heavy duty, just icky, negative feeling, like, ugh, like, foggy headedness. And I was like, I don't know, what can I do? This is just, this is getting up in the morning like that is really difficult, right? You can't really start your day off bright and sunshiny. I was just feeling just so down and so oppressed, searching in my mind, okay, I need a mantra. What mantra do I chant? And I remembered the Chamundi mantra. We call this, it's also called the Chamundi mantra. Om Aim Reem Kleem Chamundeye Viche Namaha. And I started chanting that, and it was so strange because I had this feeling like all of a sudden my chest got bigger. If you're, how they think of the chest as protecting yourself, like Superman kind of opens up his coat and you see the S there. That's what it felt like. Like I felt my chest was rising up and everything. So, and it really dispelled all of that kind of negative energy. So those are two mantras that I recommend for people. Like I said, there's one that's a general mantra, and that is for Om Dum Durgaye, is general protection mantra, and then Om Aim Reem Kleem Chamundaye Viche Namaha is more for heavy duty, just unbearable situations. You can chant that. In the, if you're, let's say you're at work and you're having this heavy duty negativity that's all about, just chant that in your mind if you can. You don't have to chant it out loud or anything like that. So those are the two mantras for the day, and I'm putting them up in the chat room right now.
Oh, cool. On the Tarot Guild site?
Yeah, at the Tarot Guild.
Alrighty. So if you're listening live, thetarotguild.com/chat. Actually, even if you're listening in the archive, you can probably go over to the chat room and still find it there. And Dr. Rose usually also puts those in our Facebook groups. We've got Psychic Talk Radio, and we've also got the Tarot Guild. The Tarot Guild group is almost up to 5,800 members now. It's been growing exponentially, like the last couple of months especially. It's been unreal.
Hey, that's great, though.
And Kay Oates stopped in to say hello in the chat room. Hi, Kay. Kay's in there listening to us as well. So before we get to the topic today, which, by the way, is why you need a life coach. Yeah, we thought we'd talk about that today. Both myself and Dr. Rose, we do life coaching. Now, our life coaching is a little different because, and there are different kinds of life coaching, and we'll get into that. There's, just straightforward life coaching. We'll explain what that is because, life coaching is getting really, really big. Everybody has a life coach, but there's still a lot of people out there that they don't even know what that is actually. And then on top of that, I'm an intuitive life coach, and Dr. Rose is a spiritual life coach. So we got some things to chat about on that topic. Before I get there, though, I always want to do the numerology of the day and the card of the day. You ready, Rose?
Yes, I am.
So today is the 6th energy. It's a return to harmony and balance after the chaos of 5 in numerology. And so it's hearth and home. And then the whole date, March 6, 2020, which, by the way, I can't believe we're in March already. Didn't we just have New Year's and start the year? Come on, people. This is ridiculous.
I know, right?
I don't know how many years I've got left, and I'm just burning through them like they, oh God, like a cigarette, just it's gone. Oh my God. And so the whole date adds up to 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 is structure in numerology. So think the walls of a building. So you can think of a home, and so that fits in with the 6 energy. So today would be a great day to work on your house, your home, your nest, making it the perfect nest, Dr. Rose. So like rearranging the furniture, redecorating, or adding a few decorations here and there, or even all out, repainting, what have you, or working outside, like in the yard. I did that the last couple of days, and after the show, I'm doing it again today. I've been working in the yard here, and interesting. Oh yeah, we've been. I've been cutting back all the bushes and hauling away all of that, and we had a lot of rains recently, and so we got weeds to take care of. And then we had even though we're in the desert here in Tucson, we do get freezings, and we had a couple of freezings that killed some bushes. I had to cut them down to their base, and we do that every year anyway because they grow back in the spring. And our spring actually hits earlier than everybody else's, just like how, winter was over before it started everywhere else, for us. Yeah. So, I've been doing all that yard work, and I got the King of Swords for the card of the day. And this is really fascinating to me. So some typical meanings of the King of Swords. So this king is rational and clear-minded, cautious. It can mean the law, arbitration. He's analytical, deep truth. Swords are ideas and thoughts, and he's got that single sword, so he's focused on one idea. Decisive, discerning, intellectual honesty, principled, impartial, unemotional decisions. Yeah, so the King of Swords can show up to represent, a judge or, someone involved in a legal situation. It also can be a surgeon. Could be talking about a surgery when he's got the swords in the hands. Someone's having a problem with their back, and you pull the King of Swords and then the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is that one where the individual's on the ground and there's 10 swords in his back. And if you have that card in conjunction with the King of Swords, hey, back surgery.
Oh, wow.
There you go. But I got to tell you, what I first saw immediately as soon as I pulled this card is I just went right back to the yard work, just going through the yard with that giant broadsword, just chopping everything down, which is what I've been doing. Yeah. So, I think the card of the day and the numerology of the day fit perfectly for me. What about you guys? So be on the lookout for that, and, think about it as you go through the day. And today would be a great day to do anything that's involved with harmony and balance, nurturing, home life, literally your home, house, yard, working in the garden, all the above. So there you go. So that is the card of the day and the numerology of the day. And then let's see how we doing on time here. Okay, 18 after the hour. Give us a ring, 714-816-4628. This is a great time to get in and secure your spot because we'll be going to phone calls pretty soon here, 714-816-4628. Press 1 on your dial pad as soon as you get through. So the board puts you into the caller queue, and we take the calls in the order that they came in. That's right. But first, we want to talk a little bit about why you need a life coach. So everybody needs a life coach, Rose.
Yes, that's right. Even I do.
That's right. And everybody, look at the mega successful people in the world, the mega successful people. They all have coaches. I guarantee you, if you talk to anybody, you'll find out.
Right.
A lot of the big names have been coached by Tony Robbins. Look at President Clinton and Oprah, and I mean, geez, it's just a laundry list of famous people that he's coached, but the people that are at the top of their game, the CEOs of major corporations, the best athletes in their sport, all athletes in general, but the higher you go, like the Tiger Woods of the world. Tiger Woods has like 5 coaches, not just one, So coaching,
right?
Coaching's been around for a long, long time, and most of the time we're talking about sports coaching, but as far as life coaching, that's been around since the 20th century anyway, last 100 years. I'm trying to remember who was the father. There was the father of life coaching, and I can't remember who that was. I don't think it was, do people consider Tony Robbins, but there was others before Tony, I'm sure, but Nightingale, and I mean, just a lot of different people.
Well, it's like mentoring. It's like mentoring, right? I mean, mentoring has been around for a very long, long time. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even going back, way, way back, everybody had a mentor that was at any higher status, especially.
Right.
The royals and so forth. They all had mentors and people that were trying to be the best in their chosen field had a mentor. And it's the same thing today. It's just becoming much, much more commonplace. But it gets confused with other things. Life coaching gets confused. Life coaching gets confused with consulting, which is a completely different thing. It also gets confused with counseling, which is a completely different thing. So,
yeah.
In counseling, there is something that is being worked on. Depending on the type of counseling, it's usually there is a mental problem or a mental block or a mental illness of some kind, and you're seeing a counselor for that. Or in the case of, say, a hypnotherapist or that kind of a counselor, you're talking about there's a change that you want to make in your life, which life coaches work on as well, but in a different way, where certain modalities are used to help you achieve the change that you're looking to make. The difference between a life coach and, say, a consultant is somebody that has a body of knowledge that you want to tap into. So you bring in a consultant that has information on something that you need help with, say, within your business, for instance.
Right.
A business consultant, and if you want your company to be more efficient, you'd bring in an efficiency expert consultant, as an example. Life coaches, on the other hand, do not need to know anything about your business. They don't have to have any knowledge about what it is that you are doing, what goals you are trying to accomplish. They're there to help you strategize and make the plans, set the goals, put them in action, keep them in action, get you to the goal, but they're not giving you the information like a consultant would. like you're trying to build a nuclear reactor. I don't need to know anything about nuclear reactors in order to coach you to, speed things up or have you hit goals faster or what have you in the process of you building this nuclear reactor. You're the one with the specialized knowledge on that project. I am just coaching you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a rah-rah session. I mean, yes, life coaches do support you, and they are your cheerleader. We're on your side, and a lot of times we're the only ones on your side. A lot of times people will set a massive goal for themselves, and their friends and family either A, they don't know about it because you're afraid to tell your friends and family about this big goal because you think you're going to be shot down, and you probably will, or you tell them, and that's exactly what happens because humans don't like change. Okay, it requires a lot of energy in order to change. In numerology, it's the 5 energy that's changed. Literally, you know how I call that the chaos number sometimes in numerology? You need you need the energy of the chaos to break you free of the restricting structure of the number 4. And there's nothing wrong with structure, but you can get stuck in that structure and not progress forward to the higher numbers. Because remember, you got 7, 8, 9. 8 is where you really want to get. That's double structure. That's double 4 energy. 8 is abundance. That's when things start to come to fruition. If 1 is the beginning of the process, 8 is the culmination. 9 is the ending and the clearing out and the getting ready for the beginning of the next cycle where it starts at 1 again. And so we often get stuck and never get past the 4. The 5 is high energy, adventurous, even chaotic energy that breaks you free of the structure of 4 so you can move forward, and then you return to that balance and harmony in the number 6, which is what I just mentioned earlier, talking about how the day is a 6 energy today because it's the 6th of March. Yeah. And so it takes a lot to step out of your box. We're all in our nice little comfort zone, and all change requires you to go outside your comfort zone. And if it's outside your comfort zone, guess what? It's outside the comfort zone also of most of your family and most of your friends as well. They don't want to see you change. They don't want you. There's kind of a disconnect. Like intellectually, in their minds, of course, they want you to be successful and they might even cheer you on at first or so forth. Others will give you the no, you can't do that. You're never going to be able to do that. You're never going to be able to do that project, whatever. But some might actually initially cheer you on because they're your friends and they're your family, and intellectually they think they want you to succeed, but subconsciously there's a part of them that doesn't want that because they don't want you to level up past them, you see, and change and become a different person. That would require them to follow you then, wouldn't it, Dr. Rose?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. But with a life coach, you're paying them. They are going to be on your side. So yes, there is a bit of that cheerleading, but it's that's not just it. There's a lot more to it. There is the navigation of obstacles and accountability and planning and setting goals and things along those lines as well. That's the main part of what a life coach does for you. So what do you want to say about that?
Yeah, my thing is that what I really love is how different intuitive life coaches are. All life coaches are great to have, and you have someone who's on your side, who's helping you to navigate, obstacles, helping you to make your plans, or at least helping you to define your plan and your goal, even to break it down into smaller steps. But what's unique about it is that, like, if you consider, you, Dax, you have tarot and numerology, and you can say, okay, this is what you're interested in doing. Let's see what the tarot says about it. So the tarot says, okay, you should approach it this way, or maybe go on this path, or maybe you should do a little bit more schooling or learning, or, however the cards read out. And then you can go on from there. And then there are other techniques and things that, you, Dax, as a intuitive life coach, and also myself, have to really help people to accomplish their goal. And it's not your typical, okay, get out there, learn it, break through, and continue on. We're like, okay, you could, like, for me, I would say, okay, you can do, here's a mantra that helps you to get clear on what your goal is and what you truly want in life. Here's a technique that you can use. There's like a Vedic technique that you can use to, bring in some divine help. That's one of my strong points is the archetypes, or are the archetypes. And the reason why I love archetypes is that they can really surpass a lot of problems that we have. Like, sometimes you're just stuck, right? And you don't know where to go. You're not sure which direction to go in. But when you have a particular kind of archetype that you work with, they can really help you surpass that, to go around those obstacles and what have you.
And just in general, that's what the life coach is doing. Did you hear me?
And I was going to say, I can't. I was
just
say
in general, because if you think about it, they are a third party, an objective observer that you might not be able to see how to get past something, but they're looking at it from the outside, so they're going to be able to maybe see things that you're not seeing. Right.
And then, it's good to have a human intuitive life coach, because we can talk with you. With divine beings, they don't always talk. They don't always communicate. Sometimes sometimes they can communicate really directly to you. Maybe you're clairaudient, or you feel the knowledge, or whatever it is, whatever your psychic ability is. Or maybe you haven't developed those yet. So, with the divine being, you can always, the communication is not the same as the human communication, but we can tell you, okay, here's what you do. Here's what we're recommending that you do. And especially for, think about that you specialize in smoking cessation. That's a real, any kind of addiction that people have, that's a real barrier to get through, especially if you've been doing it for over a long period of time. It's an addictive habit, or whatever, the toxins or whatever the nicotine is very addictive. So, but you have techniques that you can use to really help people, get through that, where that craving, or that wanting or desiring, smoking or nicotine dissipates, right?
That's right. And also just information about it, because a lot of people have a lot of misconceived notions about what's really going on with the smoking, and so that's where I would switch to my consultant hat, because it's not coaching, it is giving information that you don't have. So that's a consultant, you see. So I wear all the hats. I wear the counselor hat, the consultant hat, and the life coach hat, all of them. And, before we go any further, I did want to mention that we did a whole show on setting goals, SMART goals, the acronym. And if you go to our archive, psychetalk.net/archive, you'll find our show on SMART goals. And you can listen to that after this one for setting goals for 2020. We figured, let's do that. And, instead of New Year's resolutions, here's an actual system with the SMART goals. And that's what a life coach will do with you. But they'll help you set goals, and they're going to be SMART goals.
And then also to make you accountable. There's nothing like trying, and you might have mentioned this before, but, there's nothing like trying to change something in your life. And but if you only tell yourself, right, you're only accountable to yourself. So you can fail yourself over and over. We do that all the time. But when you have a life coach and someone you go to, you check in with them. Okay, what's happened during this week, and how have you, taken action towards your goals? And then you can tell them, well, I didn't really, because this happened, that happened, blah, blah, blah. And then the good thing about having that, it's not like a life coach, an intuitive life coach would be like, no, you should do it, you're being a bad person. But they can take a broader look at, okay, what seems to be the obstacle for this person, and how can we address that? If they are, let's say, after 2 weeks, the person hasn't taken action, what is the problem? What is the obstacle? And then that's the, as you said, the counselor hat comes on, and you can, not the counselor, the consulting hat comes on, and okay, let's identify what's happening, and then we can proceed from there. Because we're not always aware of what our problems are, how we're blindsided. A lot of times, unfortunately, our minds are made up to lie to ourselves. We make things okay when it really isn't okay. And so your life coach, your intuitive life coach, can help say, okay, let's deal with this. I see this as an obstacle. This is what's going on. So let's alter things a little bit, or let's add this to your program, your daily program.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, and why people want coaches or need coaches is to, have that. And you might be having a couple of sessions a week to keep you on track, or more if you're having issues with keeping on track, right, Rose?
That's right. Yeah.
Or you might be, more typically, it's meeting a life coach weekly is what normally happens. It might be a short amount of life coaching for a month or two. It may be you might sign up for 6 months or a year. Some people's, programs, it's an entire year you're going through.
Yeah. And it just really depends upon, what what the situation is and what kind of changes you're making. Some of that requires some time. So I don't know. I highly recommend it. I think it's always good. It's, life coaches can help you, they're a sounding board. They can help you navigate the problems and issues to, what you want to do. I know a lot of times people are like, oh, I want to make $1 million. Okay, well, let's talk about how we can get to that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not making $1 million now or even close to it. Even if you're not making $500,000, okay, there's going to be a process here. So,
yeah,
what I mean?
and that or any large goal, often, of course, remember we said using the SMART system, the acronym, to set a SMART goal, which is an achievable, realistic goal. And so if your goal is really big, like hitting 6 figures or something like that, let's say, Rose, you have to extrapolate out, okay, how long is that going to take? Let's say it's going to take a year, okay, 12 months. Okay, and then what a life coach will do is they will start at the end, because a lot of people want to start at the beginning and move forward, which, of course, you're going to do that, but at first, you need to look at it and go, in order to be making $100,000 a year, what do I need to be making at month 11, and how do I get there? Then what do I need to be making at month 10 and 9, or 6 months from now, or 3 months from now, or a month from now, or 3 weeks or 2 weeks from now, or a week from now, and then get it all the way down to what do I need to do tomorrow that is the first step going forward so that 12 months from now I've gotten to this huge goal, you see. So you work backwards.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's most people don't think of that. And everything can be achieved if it's broken up into smaller, achievable steps or mini goals.
Right.
You know, smaller goals. The other thing I wanted to mention was because it did come up when you and I were chatting about talking about life coaching on the show today, a day or two ago, and I said, well, you know how, of course, we talk a lot about tarot and tarot readers because we are sponsored by the Tarot Guild, and these days, when people go to tarot readers, that's what they're looking for is a life coach, really. They don't necessarily name it that, you know, but it's not the same as it was. I mean, sure, there are still some people that do tarot in the fortune-telling kind of way. In fact, I met one locally the other day that was actually my bartender at a place that I was visiting, an establishment I was visiting, and they were telling me how they did cards. They do it that old-fashioned way where it's like, remember the phrase, you know, reading my cards. Like that particular individual has a specific set of cards, and so you do the shuffling, and the client pulls the cards out, and then the reader looks at the cards and reads the cards, you know, which is fortune telling. It's you know, I see a tall dark stranger in your future, you know, that kind of thing, which also presupposes a set future, you know. But a lot of tarot readers don't work that way anymore. We work as tarot coaches. So there's another kind of life thing, tarot coaches, where the person has questions, we're pulling cards, we're getting answers to those questions, which leads to, you know, other speculation, other questions, we pull more cards, and ultimately what we're looking for is not predicting their future, but how do we help them navigate to get to their desired future, which is what a coach does, you see. And so that's what people are often, even unknowingly, wanting when they go to a tarot reader nowadays. Is they're actually looking for what a life coach does. But as a tarot coach, the life coaching is enhanced by the intuitive abilities, whether you're using techniques like tarot or numerology or psychic ability or what have you. Intuitive life coaching, that would kind of be a definition for intuitive life coaching. Spiritual life coaching is similar, but more, I think, if you're going to call yourself a spiritual life coach, you know, they tend to, you know, use all these terms interchangeably, but, you know, to me it's a very specific thing. An intuitive life coach is using intuitive abilities to assist in the process of getting people to their goal, whereas a spiritual life coach is coaching people specifically on their spiritual development and path. So it's a different thing in my mind, although there are a lot of people out there that rather than call themselves an intuitive life coach, they call themselves a spiritual life coach, but they're actually doing intuitive life coaching is what they're actually doing. They're just using the term. So there are a lot of different kinds of coaches out there, and just a straightforward life coach can get you to your goal regardless. But I think it's nice to have other things in your toolkit. Like if you're coaching somebody and they have a blockage about money, and they're trying to like develop their career or get to that 6 figures or what have you, it's nice to have a technique in your tool belt, like emotional freedom technique, EFT, where you can, or some people just call it tapping, where you can take them through rounds of tapping and, in the single session, knock out, 3 or 4 different blockages that they have to attaining their goal, which an ordinary life coach wouldn't necessarily have those techniques. Or neurolinguistics, techniques from NLP, where you can help people release things, get past things, phobias, and any kind of blockages. There's NLP techniques for all of that as well as hypnosis. I'll throw hypnosis in there. And I did want to mention, we were talking about, the tarot more as life coaching. And so I wanted to say that I know we have a lot of people that listen to the show that are tarot readers, professional readers. And especially if you're brand new to being a professional reader, first thing I would tell you to do is go out and take a life coaching course, because that's going to help you immensely, tarot reader. But not just tarot reader, any modality that you do, life coaching is the foundation if you think about it, regardless. So if I'm a hypnotherapist and I'm trying to help somebody achieve the goal of quitting smoking, having the underlying life coaching training is going to help with that, even though I'm using the hypnosis modalities too. Same thing with an NLP practitioner, even a Reiki master. I mean, numerologist, whatever you're doing, whatever your modality is that you're working, your techniques that you're using with a client, life coaching makes a powerful foundation for everything. So no matter what you do out there, think about taking a life coaching course. In fact, I've got a life coaching course that we've been promoting for over 10 years now, from my colleague who's also a hypnotherapist, Dr. Steve G. Jones. He does the Fast Track Life Coaching certification. I know you've taken that, Dr. Rose, right?
Yes, I love it too. It's a wonderful program and very easy to use and easy to get your certification, actually.
Well, a lot of people have taken this course. I mean, Sharona Rapsik, Sue Schumacher, myself, Mary Brown, Catherine Hahn, and, those are just some of the current and recent hosts on the network. But, I mean, my God, if you go back over the last 10 years of our radio network and the last 15 years of the Tarot Guild, you're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have taken this same course, which has been updated. It was still basically a lot of the same information. Now it's a self-paced online 30-video module course. You can dive into it whenever you want to, go as slowly through it or as quickly through it as you want to go through it. And you can use it as a foundation for the practice that you do right now as a psychic or a tarot reader or Reiki practitioner, NLP practitioner, hypnotherapist, medium, any type of practitioner, or use it as a brand new whole separate additional stream of income. I'm always telling people, have multiple streams of income. Your main thing might be being a professional tarot reader, but you should have a book on tarot, a course you teach on tarot. You should be training people. You should be doing audios and videos and have a whole bunch of different other products and services that you can sell in addition to the professional tarot reading, so you have multiple streams of income, and this could be an additional stream of income working separately as a life coach or in conjunction with your current modality as a tarot reader or whatever other modality you use. And you can find that course on our psychictalk.net website. It's actually psychictalk.net/coach. I try to make it really easy to get there. So that's psychictalk.net/coach. I'm going to try to grab that URL, Rose, here and pop it into the chat room, Tarotville website. Pop that in there for folks, and later on I'll put it in our Facebook groups as well. And I think it's on sale. You know, it's a $600 course that, you know, we already sell it for, I think, normally $77. But I think it's on sale still right now for $39. I kid you not. You could pick up this life coaching course, and in a matter of days, it's a $675 course. Now, we normally sell it through the Tarot Guild and through Psychic Talk Radio for $77. But right now, if you go to that page, psychictalk.net/coach, and click the big yellow click to enroll button, it's going to take you to a page where you can still get it for 95% off, just $39. In a matter of a day or two or three, you can go through this course and get certified as a life coach. Isn't that fantastic?
Wonderful. Yeah.
I just love it. And so there's a lot of other things. You know, me personally as a intuitive life coach, you know, I use the EFT, NLP techniques. I use what would you call? I think the actual term is kinesiology. Kinesiology. Can never pronounce it, but it's muscle testing. And you know, your body hold, regardless of what your conscious or even subconscious mind thinks, your body holds the answers, and you can ask questions and do muscle testing and get yes and no answers, for instance, in regards to certain things. Like somebody comes in to quit smoking, Rose, and they walk in the door, and I shake their hand, and we're both standing there in the entranceway, and I say to them, you know, hey, you ready to throw out those cigarettes? You ready to throw out that pack of cigarettes and quit and become a non-smoker today? And they go, yeah, you know, and right there, before we even move past the threshold of the building, I literally, they're standing there. I have them put their hands at their side, raise one hand up, and I do a couple of test questions to kind of gauge, you know, and if their name's Frank, is your name Frank? You know, push down, they hold strong. Is your name Linda? Push down, it gets weak. Nope, your name's not Linda. Okay, and then I'll ask them, are you ready to quit smoking? And we'll test and see if we get a yes or a no. And if we get a no, we know that then we know that we need to work on that. We need to go through some EFT tappings and some NLP techniques and try to get them to what we call threshold, get them to threshold where they are ready to then quit smoking. And then we go through some other techniques and then the hypnosis to quit smoking. But yeah, so, you know, right from the beginning, I'm able to use muscle testing, the kinesiology, which I can never pronounce, to get the answers to, you know, are they really ready, you know? And you can use the life coaches can use the same technique, muscle testing, with their clients in, you know, any scenario. So the person is having trouble attaining a specific goal, and you can use the muscle testing and ask them directly, you know, do you have a block there? You know, is XYZ the block, the reason why you're not getting past it? Yes or no? Okay, that's a no, so it's something else. Is this the block? Oh, yes, strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a yes. So you can figure out what the block is and then clear it with another technique, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
What about you and your uniqueness as an intuitive life coach? Any words on that you want to tell people before we move on?
I'm still kind of working out some of it, but a lot of what I do is some of which are Vedic practices, and then I would also do hypnosis as well, because I think those are the two main factors. As I said at the beginning of the show, one of the things I love to do is to work with divine or celestial beings and helping other people to do the same thing. It's one thing to chant mantras, and there's nothing wrong with chanting mantras, but there are other techniques that people can learn to really have a closer, deeper relationship with a god or goddess, an archetype or whatnot. And these are techniques that can be used for any, god, goddess, saint, whatever, or angel or what have you, and really bring them into not only into your consciousness, into your space or your aura, but also inside your body and help with all kinds of issues. So it's something that I love to do for myself and also for other people, and helping them to navigate. I know that sounds kind of weird in terms of, but if I want to do business, then how does a god or goddess help me? Well, they're not just spiritual beings. I mean, they are spiritual beings, but they're not just going to help you with problems. Yeah, you'll feel maybe a sense of peace, maybe some, maybe unconditional love or compassion, but also they can help you in terms of building your business. There are, different archetypes work with different areas of life. Some of these beings are like universes in and of themselves, like multi-universes within themselves, but many of them have specializations that they can help you with. So if you are trying to increase your business sales, for example, as Dax and I would joke, there's a mantra for that. But there's not only a mantra, but what I'll also teach you is how to really empower that mantra by working with the archetype behind the mantra. And what you can do on a consistent basis every day that will help you build those sales, come up with ideas. I know for me personally, in my life and trying to get goals, created and things of that nature, I suffer from a lot of just cloudy-headedness. And so there's a particular mantra that I chant, but, that mantra is connected to what is it? Known as the obstacle remover, the elephant-headed god in India. His name is Ganesha. That's right, Ganesha, and I call upon him not only just to remove the obstacles, but there's a way that I can call on him to really step into my life and create change. And the other thing too is that the a lot of times with spiritual practices, people think more of, let's see, how can I put it? Sometimes it's hard for spiritual people to deal with practical things, right? With the material world, the physical world. They can be as spiritual as they want to. They can be high elevated, but navigating this whole world, the physical plane, can be quite a daunting path. And sometimes people will say, well, all I have to do is just do the spiritual thing, but I don't need to have a goal or a plan or something. And that's not true. So I try to help them to really meld the two areas. It's great to be spiritual, don't get me wrong. And if all you want to do in life is just meditate and attain a higher consciousness, God bless you. But there are some of us that are spiritual and material.
Monk, yeah.
Right. Well, there are some who want to do both, and this is why I follow the guru that I follow, Dr. Dax Carlisle, because he believes in a 100% spiritual life and 100% material. So there's no reason why you can't combine those two. So, and that's one of the things that I bring to the table, is really helping people to combine the two, because spiritual people, and I'm not. It's not anything personal against any of you guys. I suffer from this myself. We can get really into the clouds and cannot come down. and then you know, the rest of our life is a mess, you know, or our relationships, the money is poor or whatnot. It's like, no, you don't need to do that. You can bring these two things together, and I can help people navigate how to do that, to really bring those two worlds together. Because we are those two worlds. Those two worlds are a part of us. We are divine beings having an earthly experience, but it doesn't mean that, you know, we can't achieve anything in our lives. So that's what I bring to the table, you know, with the different techniques and things that I know. And I would also bring hypnosis into it. And the reason for that is that we also have to navigate our minds. You know, you can call on a god or goddess or angel all you want to help you in a particular area. But if we're not actively dealing with the way that we think and what we truly feel and believe, because, you know, the whole law of attraction is about feeling. If you feel like, you know, you're not going to do well because, I don't know, for whatever reason, you know, maybe somebody told you that in the past or you know, whatever the situation is, that spiritual people don't make money, you're going to attract that, you know, and you probably are doing that. So you have to work with the mind, and you have, you know, through hypnosis, sometimes with affirmations. I'm more of a hypnosis kind of person, but to work with the mind to really, you know, create change, because you have to do that. If you don't work with your deep-rooted feelings and thoughts about money, relationships, whatever it is that you want in life, it doesn't matter how many times you call on the gods and goddesses. There's only so much they can do. It really has to be a partnership. Not that they're not powerful, not that they couldn't create a miracle, but you have to be open to that. The key is you. If your mind is closed, or it's like the opposite of what it is that you desire, it's really difficult to try to break through that. So you have to do your part. You know, as they say, if you take a step towards them, they will travel miles to get to you. That's all you have to do. So that's why I specialize in bringing the spiritual and material together for people, so that, you know, especially for spiritual folk that, you know, tend to be in the clouds, you know. It's like, okay, you got to land on Earth at some time. So here's what happens when you're on Earth.
Coming full circle back to the beginning when we said, you know, everyone needs a life coach. It's like even the life coaches need life coaches. Like, for instance, you and I'm going to be doing life coaching with you next week. There's a perfect example. You know, you do all this stuff, but then you still need that other person to guide you through and to be your coach. You do.
You really do.
You just, even if you are a coach. So, and it's speaking of spiritual people getting, you know, high up there, we're already past the top of the hour, so we got to take some phone calls so we can end the show here. I just do want to leave everybody on, you know, if you do a specific modality out there, you should take a life coaching course to set the foundation, or even if you don't, or if you're looking for, you know, a whole new career idea, think of life coaching and go check out our course at psychictalk.net/coach, which you can grab right now for just $39. And also, if you want a tarot reading, you want to book a tarot reading with me, my tarot readings include a full numerology chart. There's a book now button right on my page at thetarotguild.com/Dax, D-A-X. So it's thetarotguild.com/DAX. Go over to my page there. You can message me. You can ask questions, all kinds of contact information, and then a big blue flashing book now button. You can click that button, and you can book a session and let me know what you want to do. Message me. It could be tarot, like I just mentioned, but it can also be a life coaching session, or it could be a hypnosis session. Maybe you have some goals for the beginning of the year here that you want to work on, and love to help you out with that. And real quickly, I wanted to mention we'll be back on the air tomorrow, so if we don't get to your call today, Mary Brown will be on with the premiere of her brand new show, her brand new monthly show. It's once a month, the first Saturday of the month. There's a rock for that. Isn't that exciting, Rose? Did I lose you, Rose? Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, I had myself on mute. Yes, it is wonderful. I responded, but I had myself on mute.
Thought maybe I dropped off the air for a second there. Okay.
Oh, no.
And so we have the premiere episode of There's a Rock for That tomorrow, March 7th. And then Sunday, March 8th, we have special guest Crystal Reiki Master Mary Brown is going to be on Sharona's show, Sharona Rapsik. So it's Magic Universe with Sharona. So you're getting a double dose of Mary and crystals and rocks on Saturday and Sunday this week. You got the premiere of There's a Rock for That with Mary Brown, her show, and then Mary is the guest on Sharona's show on Sunday, Magic Universe.
Nice.
They're going to be talking about crystals and Reiki and all that kind of stuff. And then Monday, March 9th, it's Compassionate Light, Healing, and Guidance with Catherine Hahn, right after the Wisdom of Your Soul show with Janice Fuchs. And what Catherine's doing on her show is Reclaiming Your Power. And it's going to be a series of shows the next 4 Mondays, Reclaiming Your Power. So tune in each Monday. You and I, we will be back on Friday, and it's Friday the 13th. That's right. And so we're going to be talking about expecting luck on Friday the 13th because it's only a few days before St. Patty's Day is coming up here. So we're going to talk about luck and expecting luck, even on Friday the 13th, and what all that means. So that's coming up on Friday, March 13th. Friday the 13th.
Woohoo!
And and then Mary and I'll be back the Saturday after.
Did we already have a Friday the 13th this year? I thought we did.
I think we might have had one. You know, there's always at least one. Sometimes there's 2, 3, 4 Friday the 13th.
In the year. Okay.
Yeah, it varies. I think we might have already had one.
Oh,
perhaps.
We had one in December. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, that's why it.
Yeah.
That's why it seems like it's still this year because it was
not
that long ago. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what's coming up, and you can always keep up with all the upcoming shows by going to psychictalk.net/upcoming. I've got the shows all the way through the end of March, like to March 30th listed. So go check that out.
Cool.
Absolutely. Let's see who's been waiting the longest. And, oh, my God, we had a caller that was with us for the whole show, and then they dropped off just as I was about to go to them. So instead, we're going to go to 267. Hello, caller. Hello?
Caller 267, are you there? Hello?
Okay, so there might be something wrong with their line because, I'm just not hearing it. Anyway, okay, so we gave it a try. The caller that was waiting, I was literally going to I think it was a 919 area code, and I read off the upcoming shows, went back to the switchboard, they were gone, and then the next line is not working. I think we're just going to give up there because it's already 10 minutes after the top of the hour. So let's end the show there. I had a great time, even though we didn't get to any callers, and it was fun talking about life coaching and all of these things. And the mantras of the week were great. The protection mantras and great stuff there, Dr. Rose.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. It's too bad that we don't have any callers this time. That's very rare for the show, but maybe this is a special Friday going on. Who knows?
Yeah, well, we'll try to take callers earlier maybe next week. Do it that way. So next week we're doing, Friday the 13th, expecting luck, and if we have some callers, we can go right to callers first and then do the topic, and it could be real. That topic will be a lot shorter than talking about the life coaching, and we could just touch on the Friday the 13th and luck and the upcoming St. Patty's Day just briefly, and then go back to calls. So everybody tune in next week. Call in early next week, and we'll try to get to calls. We actually have another show coming up the following Friday, visiting the Irish Fae with Mary Brown. So Mary Brown's going to be a guest on our show as well. So we have a show right before St. Patty's Day, which is on a Tuesday, and we don't have a show. So that's why we've got the Expecting Luck on Friday the 13th, and then we've got on March 20th, the Friday after St. Patty's Day, visiting the Irish Fae with special guest Mary Brown. So we got a couple of cool Irish-themed shows coming up. So there you go. Awesome
Sounds
stuff.
Great.
Awesome stuff. All righty. So thanks for everybody, and thanks to all our listeners and our callers. We don't have a show without you. And, of course, thanks for you being there, Dr. Rose. Can't do the show without you.
Yeah, thank you, Dax, for being on the show. And everybody have a wonderful, blessed week.
Yes, well, we have a whole weekend coming up here, and of course I'll be listening in when Mary does her premiere tomorrow and when she's on Sharona's show on Sunday. And so don't forget to tune in for those shows. If you were late tuning in today and we didn't get to your call, remember you can call in on Saturday and Sunday. So there you go, buddy, and bye, Dr. Rose.
Bye. Bye, Dax. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.